All right, so my name is Hannah Lancaster. I am a consultant here at Bridge Innovate. We are located in Chattanooga, Tennessee, right over the Tennessee line in Rossville, Georgia. We have an amazing studio space here. So I am calling in from that right now. If you are unfamiliar with Bridge, we are a global consulting firm that works on strategy, leadership development, change management, basically anything that our clients are having challenges with. We love to help craft customized approaches and solutions to. So the Inspire series started out as a way for us to really share our clients' stories and all the great work that our networks are doing. And it's just sort of evolved into sharing leadership stories and insights, creativity, innovation, leadership, all those good things. So I'm excited to bring on Virginia Murphy today. So Virginia is a CEO of Wastewater Industrial Solutions. We connected with Virginia through the AGAP program at Morehouse College. And she is currently leading a team of engineers, fabricators, machinists, and project managers with a combined 70 plus years of experience in metal fabrication and wastewater treatment equipment repair. So we're going to hear from Virginia about her story, how she got to where she is today, what it is like being a female CEO in a very male-dominated industry. And I am very excited to share more about her story with you. So Virginia, I'll let you take it from here.
Thank you. Thank you. Can everyone hear me?
Loud and clear, you're good.
Awesome, awesome. Again, like you said, I'm Virginia Murphy, CEO of Wastewater Industrial Solutions. I'm gonna adjust my volume. And thanks, Bridge Innovate, thanks AGAP for giving me the opportunity to share my story in hopes that it will at least make you feel like you're not out there alone and provide you with some lessons of things that I've learned along the way. And like I said, I'm proud to serve an amazing team of engineers, fabricators, and machinists. All these guys make me just look real good every day. So I'm really proud to serve them. And as she indicated, we build wastewater treatment equipment. We do structural fabrication, sandblasting, anything metal, not the pretty glamorous stuff. Just real hardcore metal. And most people want to know, how did I get here? My mom, to go to the next slide. Well, let me just show you some of the pictures of things we do. I completely forgot we have slides. So again, those are some of the projects. I am DBE and WOSB certified. I call it LMNOP certified, every kind of certification that you can possibly get. And if you go to the next slide, these are some of the projects, like I said, hardcore, heavy duty kind of projects. These are some of the things that we have done in our space. And the next slide, I was talking about how I got here. Well, the young person in that picture is a 10-year-old me. And the woman over me is my mom, Ruthie Crump. And that little picture over there to the left is a service station that she owned and operated in the 70s. And I watched my mom give people jobs and give people opportunities to be employed, which was one of the main things she enjoyed doing. But she didn't just run the service station. She actually operated without a high school education. She had a lot of business savvy and a lot of common sense. And I think that as I was growing up, I saw that it didn't matter what your gender was. It didn't matter what your gender or your race was. You would be available to do whatever you saw fit. So when we had the opportunity to bring in a fab shop and do this work, we did it. I wanted to do it in such a way that it hadn't been done before. This industry is pretty unethical. It is pretty, a lot of backdoor deals, that kind of thing. And so I think God chose me to do this, to say, hey, you can do this ethically. You can do this in the right way. And at the same time, you can support people as well. This doesn't mean that I wasn't afraid. It means that I made some mistakes. So one of the first things I did in learning to do this business, I brought in someone I thought was an expert, right? I knew he had been in the industry a long time. And so I brought him in to kind of help advise me and tell me how we wanted to do this business. So I had him and his wife come over to sit with me and talk to me about how to set the business up, right? So trust and believe, he came in with a full plan. He came in and told me exactly how I should do it. Virginia, you got to do this so you can maximize profits. We're going to do it this way. You can't leave any money on the table. And I'm going to be the face of the company. I'll be the one going out there and selling you guys. I'm going to tell you guys kind of what to do, but I'm going to set it up. And as I'm listening to all of his plans, I'm like, that is not what I was planning to do. It's kind of the opposite. And when I listened to it, he was going to make my company very much like his company or the companies that he had been in before. So I immediately learned lesson 1, which is on the next slide, which says, if you have a vision, stick with your vision. No one but God or you should be able to change the vision that you have been given. And my vision was clearly not what he was saying. And it pulled me also to lesson 2, which was in your business, we all have the opportunity to help others. So I put my business together to be ethical and to help others. And neither of those things were discussed when this gentleman tried to roll my business out to me. Last week, we look at the next slide. Last week, I had the opportunity of being invited to the White House. And I talked specifically not about how successful my business was. They didn't want to hear about that. They really wanted to hear about my passion for skills trades and what we were going to do around the shortage of skills trades workers. So I had the opportunity to interview, give my ideas about the problems with skilled trades. And if you don't know, again, there is a shortage in relation to that. And the shortage is a result of several things. But one of the main things it is that we have not appreciated this particular group of people at all. So we want to push all of our children to college. We want them all to be doctors and lawyers. And we look at the skills trades people and we tell our kids, now you don't want to be like one of those. You want to go to college. Well, guess what? Every child did not make it in college. They were not college material. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with the skills trades careers. They're a way to make honest money. You work hard, but you make an honest living. And I can tell you from personal experience, I married a welder. And at the time that I married him, he made more money than I did. And I was college educated. So I think that us as a society have pushed in the wrong way. And now we're trying to turn it around. And I, like my mother, want to be able to help people and give back to that. And I use as my motto all the time, I did not come on this earth, just like Jesus, just to be served, but to serve. And that's my plan. And that's one reason I am passionate about the skilled trades and being an advocate for them. So the one thing I say to you is find your passion and support it. Do what you can for the community in which you serve. So when I started this business, I thought all I needed was some really talented people and some good hardworking folks, and we would get the job done. And well, that's not necessarily so. So I messed up a lot. It was because of those failures, though, that I learned what to do. I used to tell people all the time, I'm not sure I can tell you what to do, but I can tell you what not to do. My folks would absolutely and continue to do whatever I asked them to do. So I figured I got the right people. Let me just get some jobs. I don't care what people ask me to do. My team can do it. We're going to do everything. We're going to do anything. If they're paying, we're staying. We're going to do it. And I just didn't care. So guess what? I failed. But the one thing I've had to teach myself is it's okay. It's okay to fail. Give yourself some grace. We're the hardest on ourselves when we fail. So give yourself some grace. It hurts, but I learned my best lessons when I failed. And guess what? You're in a very distinguished category. A lot of people fail before they become successful. And it also sends me back to lesson 4, which says, go back to lesson 1. Go back to lesson 1 and focus. Just because you've got a job doesn't mean it's the right job. All money is not the right money. You need to focus on what your initial vision was. I always think about it as Kool-Aid, right? Or drink mix, whatever you want to call it. I called it Kool-Aid growing up. Okay. So you've got 1 pack of Kool-Aid that goes in 1 quart of water. But if you have 5 quarts of water with that 1 pack of Kool-Aid and you try to mix it in all of those areas, you're not going to have a good product. But if you put that 1 pack of Kool-Aid in that 1 quart of water, you're going to have an awesome beverage. And we sometimes tend to try to open up our blanket and net and find a lot of things just, oh, they're paying, so I'm going to do it. And that is just not a good idea. It's also not a good idea when you fail to think that you need to change your vision, because guess what? It may not be the vision, it may be you. So you need to evaluate yourself. So I have an undergraduate degree in accounting and a master's degree. So in corporate America, I used all that I learned to run other people's businesses, to make them successful. But in my own business, I didn't use those skills. I knew that I needed a foundation and I needed it quickly, but I didn't take the time to build it. You see, when I worked for others, I didn't need to build a foundation that was already there. So what did I do? I decided it's time for me to spend time working on the business and not in the business. I used to sit in these seminars all the time and people say, work on your business, work on your business. And I'd be like, yeah, okay, I gotta work. I have to work, right? So, but I needed to build a reporting system that would help me manage my business so that when problems came along, I would know before the problem actually hit. I needed employee processes and procedures, just come on in and work and you're good. I know you're good. But I needed some rules of engagement around that. I needed to, immerse myself in classes, seminars, but not just that. I needed to do what it was they told me to do. I couldn't just listen. I actually needed to take what they took, what they gave me, and move my business in the right direction. I was stunting my company's own growth because of my limited knowledge. It was not enough for me just to have a great product. It wasn't enough for me just to have the pitcher of Kool-Aid, right? I had to know the business side. I needed to know how to get that pitcher of Kool-Aid in front of the people who wanted to drink it, all right? And I didn't have that piece. So I wanted to work my business like a business and not like a hustle. I had talent, but absolutely no tools. I needed to manage my business. I wasn't thinking about financials. I wasn't thinking about cash flow or any of that. So lesson 5, manage your business. You're not just another employee. You are the manager of that business. So there's so much more that you have to do. There's another reason businesses don't move ahead as they should. And that is trying to do it all yourself. I mean, come on, it is my business. And so no one is going to be able to do it like me. I could do it all, no matter what it is. I know it all. I could do it all, well, not if you want to be successful, right? First, there are not enough hours in the day to do it. And, many times I told myself, while I'm either on a plane, while somebody's driving me, or while I'm Saturday morning, I'm going to work on that thing that I need to work on for the business. Well, how many of you know if you're an entrepreneur, all kinds of things come up before you get a chance to work on that thing? So guess what? There was a critical task that did not get completed because you are holding on to it. You have a couple of options. You can get some limited services free, and which honestly, that can happen. AGAP is one program that I'm in, a cohort that gives services for free. You have the Small Business Development Center. They're everywhere. You just really have to look for them because they are available. You can also hire and train someone. And this is good because you get to develop that person. It takes pressure off you and it makes the other person happy because now they have a new skill to put in their toolbox. And guess what? You can finally hire somebody that's an expert. You don't have to feel like you have to be the expert. Get some experts around you to be successful. So it's okay if you're not the expert at everything and you don't do everything, because it's going to be impossible. Again, stunting, your growth. So before you can do any of these things by allowing other people to work on it, you have to let it go. You have to say, okay, I'm going to trust someone else to do this. You have to, or else your business won't grow. You need to actually empower other people to do these jobs, not just throw it out there. You actually need to say, I'm empowering you to do this. I'm not going to be over your shoulders telling you how to do it, when to do it, where to do it. I'm going to allow you to get this job done. Okay. and I think I did that. I think I did that in order to move on. So I know I've made this sound simple, right? It may sound like, oh, she's got it all together. She's got it all together. But let me just stop you and tell you that that's not the case. You know, there are many days I feel like I am playing in high heels, playing basketball in high heels and a pencil skirt against Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson. And that's how I feel some days, until I realize, wait a minute, this is my ball. So, which means I can either take my ball and go home, or since it's my ball, I can change the rules. So I've decided to change the rules as to how we do business. I'm waiting on everybody else to catch up with me. I'm saying I don't have to do business as the status quo. I don't have to feel like, as a woman of color or small business, that I don't belong. I know I belong. I know that God has a plan for me. So I will just keep going, even though sometimes it's intimidating and frightening. So I say to all of you on this call, do it afraid. Even if you are afraid, just do it anyway. Even when I walk into a room and I look out on a basketball court and I see all of these movie stars who know each other, who played together before, and you're coming in as the outsider, still do it afraid. So what do you need to do to be able to do it afraid? First of all, you need that God courage going in with you, but you also need to make sure you do your homework. Make sure you know something about the customer and their needs, so that when you meet with them, you are aligning yourself to meet with their needs, as long as they're in your vision. Be ready at all times. You just never know. So the one thing I said to someone is, they were like, okay, Virginia, we're going to put you in front of these. Are you ready? I said, I'm always ready. I'm always ready. You have to always be ready, because you never know when that connection may come. I have been placed in places that I never knew that I would be in. When I went to the White House, they heard about my business, even though that wasn't my purpose for being there. I was able to, people were like, well, what do you do? So it's not a matter of, well, let me get my capability statement, let me grab this. No, you have to be ready at all times. And I tell young businesses, make sure you have your website up and running. Make sure you have a capability statement. You can't do any of that, because those are things that people are going to want to go to and see before you're there. If you need certifications, like I said, LMNOP certifications, get them. I'm going to just tell you one thing though, as far as certifications. Initially, I was very anti-certification, because I was like, I don't want to be known as a Black woman business. I'm good. I could do what I need to do. Until I spoke with my mentor, who happens to be a white man in the business. And he said, Virginia, look, everybody has an advantage. Everybody has something that they use to get them where they need to be. Some people have money, and they have a lot of money, so they could throw it out there and get where they need to be. Some people have education. Engineers, we flaunt it around all the time. If you've got this, use it to get in the door. And when you get in the door, then show them that you know what you're doing. And that made me feel better about all of these different certifications. I'm like, it's just my advantage that everybody else has one, but this one is yours. Okay. So again, like I said, do your homework. But it still becomes intimidating when you go into the room. And I want to tell you this story about a tiger and a donkey. So the tiger and the donkey were arguing about the color of the grass. The donkey said the grass is blue. It is blue. Tiger says, no, the grass is clearly green. Came into a heated debate. So they went to the king of the jungle, the lion. And the donkey ran up and said, hey, sick of this tiger over here. I know this grass is blue. You need to make sure you let him know it's blue. He's getting on my nerves. And so finally the lion said, yes, indeed, the grass is blue. So donkey said, well, punish him, because he's irritated me. I said, okay, tiger, you have 5 years of silence because you were wrong. So the tiger afterwards said, okay, I'll take my punishment, but hey, we all know the grass is green. Why would you tell him the grass is blue? Why did you punish me? And he says, because it makes no sense for a brave and intelligent creature like you to waste your time arguing with a donkey. The worst waste of time is to try to make a point to an idiot. There are people who, no matter how much evidence we present to them, do not have the capacity to understand, and others that are blinded by ego, hatred, resentment, and all they want to do is be right. So when ignorance screams, intelligence is silent. Once you learn that, once you learn that, you'll feel less inclined to argue with people. You'll feel less inclined that you have to kick your way into the door. You'll feel less inclined that you have to try to talk over all of the other people in the room. Okay, so what I would say to you is, the loudest person is not always right, because you walk into that room and you have all of this camaraderie and they're laughing and talking about what they did yesterday. It's okay. You've done your homework, you prepared, you know what kind of product you need. Go in there silently, and when it's your opportunity to speak, you speak, okay? And you let all the rest go to pot, okay? So the final lesson that I'm going to give you is lesson 9. And it is, get a trusted circle. There is no way in the world I could have done all of this on my own. Just not possible. My circle is made up of Christian friends who will remind me of who I am and who God says I am. Because when you get into some heated battles, or when you get into a contract you lost and you know that you didn't lose it right, it can really kind of get to you. These people are for those times you throw the cover over your head and you say, I'm just not even doing this another day, because I don't even know why. I can't do it. I'm not good at it. But those are the people who say, but God put you here and you're good at it, and get up and let's try it again. You know, your family, my husband, he is always like pushing me. Or they say, honey, you got this, because I don't know how to do this, you do it. So it makes you feel good to have someone pushing you. And everybody needs some fantastic cheerleaders. I have 2 daughters that cheer me on constantly, Aaliyah and Naya. They are just like, Mom, you can do this. You go. We're so proud of you. And I don't know if there are any mothers on the call, but that will light your world up when you have your daughters say that they're proud of you and to keep moving. I have friends around me that allow me to be vulnerable, that allow me to take off my superwoman cape, the cape I may wear when I go into a meeting full of men. They allow me to take that off. But, and they don't judge me. They know the good, the bad, the ugly of me. And they still don't judge me, but they do challenge me, and they say, hey, why'd you make that decision? And I know that I can listen to them because they're listening from a good place. And finally, you want some mentors that hopefully are in your line of business or in business, that don't see you as competition, but are willing to be a sounding board for you and provide good advice on their experience. So the one thing I would caution you about when you get a trusted circle is, if you are the smartest one in your circle, you got the wrong circle, okay? So if you are considered the smartest, that means you're constantly being pulled on. You don't get the support you need because folks are coming to you. So you need people you can look up to both spiritually and mentally. Not that you're trying to be like anyone else, but these people can motivate you to be the best you. So the trusted circle, lesson 9, is probably just equally as important as lessons 1 through 8. So just don't take it for granted. So I really hope that this encouraged you. I hope it helped you out. So I'm going to turn it back over to Hannah to see if anyone has questions. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that was so powerful. I have so many questions about this, but I'm going to put it out to everyone else. I think I saw one question come in. Let's see. Veronica asked, how do I become a project manager? Is it hard? So do you have any suggestions on becoming a project manager?
I'm sorry, Hannah. Did you ask the question? Because I didn't have my volume.
Oh, it's so Veronica asked, how do I become a project manager? Is it hard? So do you have any recommendations for becoming a project manager and sort of working your way up from there?
There are all kinds of classes in relation to being a project manager. You can go online and do them. I would just suggest find someone who can give you those skills and then just work with them directly. Is it hard? Absolutely. Project management job is the hardest job you'll get in any company. So it's because you're juggling constantly, but it's probably one of the most fun too.
Yeah, I agree. We do a lot of project management. That's a lot of my role. And it is very fun. You have to be detail oriented and structured and willing to pivot. So there's a lot of different resources out there. Does anyone else have any other questions? I know one of the things that I want to know is what is something that over all of your years of experience, something that you would tell the younger version of yourself? Oh, you're muted.
Honestly, a lot of the things that the lessons that I just talked about, and especially probably the one biggest for me is not trying to do it alone, because I think that I try to do everything by myself and handle everything, and then it's okay to fail.
Yeah, those are two very
I'm a perfectionist, so I don't really understand that you can't be perfect all the time.
So Jenny also asked, what suggestions do you have for building up your courage? Because oftentimes it's hard to take that first step to live your vision and change the game.
Okay, I'm sorry, say that one more time.
What suggestions do you have for building up your courage? Because oftentimes it's hard to take that first step to live your vision and change the game.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm going to tell you, I am honestly first of all, I had my mom. Let's just say that. I figured if she could do it, I can do it, right? But then I'm a very spiritual person. And honestly, it was my faith that got me to move in that direction. That my faith and people saying, Virginia, you can do this, you can handle it, having a support system. But it does take a lot of work. I'm going to tell you, being an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart. It is, just know that it's going to be tough some days. That's why that support system is so good, because it will be tough on some days. Yep.
That's great feedback. Do we have any other questions before I switch over to show you guys how to get in touch with Virginia? So you can contact her via her number here or her website. You can connect with her on LinkedIn or through Facebook. I'm sure she'd love to answer any other questions. She said, thank you. Yeah, so if you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out to myself or Virginia. This webinar will be recorded and posted onto our YouTube. It'll be sent out to anyone who was unable to join us this afternoon, and then also posted on our LinkedIn. So coming up next, we had Virginia today, but we have Exploring Future Trends with Foresight Scouts. So if you've never heard of our Foresight Scouts program, it is starting in January, but we have a preview session on November 14th with Emily Skywork, a consultant on our team who's going to be running the program, looking at future trends and the impacts that they can have as we continue to unpack them and plan for them in the future. We also have our Invention Challenge award ceremony for our kids program, Bright Spark. They did an Invention Challenge. We had, I think, 120 submissions across 6 countries, and we had the virtual award ceremony on November 17th. So we are looking forward to connecting with you again soon. Again, reach out if you have any questions, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, Virginia. Thanks so much.